I'm in Tewksbury, Massachusetts tonight. Why am I in Tewksbury, Massachusetts? Where is Tewksbury, Massachusetts? I don't know. It was the closest hotel to the Pinball Wizard Arcade in Pelham, New Hampshire, which is where I spent my late evening here on a very lovely, very mild May 13th, 2014 in New England. It's Coast to Coast Pinball, episode number 84. Let's go. Welcome to Coast to Coast Pinball. My name is Nate Shivers. This is a podcast. It's a commentary. I'm a man out of quarters. Tokens tonight, maybe? I have tokens. Actually, I left with some tokens. I got tired. I had a long day. I flew from San Diego to Boston today, and I woke up to a canceled flight and a mad dash panic to make sure I wasn't in a middle seat, and some flight changes, and was not the schedule I planned on. So I got in to Boston by about 7 o'clock finally and drove out to Pelham, New Hampshire, played some pinball tonight at the Pinball Wizard Arcade, and some of you may have seen on my Facebook page, I posted a little picture of the Doctor Who start button. People just went running to assumptions that maybe I had bought that game. No. I also posted Fishtails, because yes, I played Fishtails. Played a whole bunch of games, and so I played Doctor Who quite a bit tonight, because I still do very much want a Doctor Who. I love the game. I love the music of that game. I love the sounds of that game. I love the Daleks, whatever you call them. I love their screaming. I love that game. I can't find one that I think's affordable or close enough to go get in Southern California. That's why I currently don't own that game. There's one that came up for sale on Pinside today in Oklahoma, and I'm like trying in my head to rationalize, okay, I could buy it and just let it sit there until this winter when I inevitably drive back to Oklahoma for the holidays with Teresa, and then I could pick it up. And I mean, yes, I do really want a Doctor Who. I know that was one of the games that I had put on the list of what game is Nate buying. Well, it's not Doctor Who. It's not Doctor Who. Champion Pub. Played Champion Pub tonight. I'm usually pretty good at that game, and I was horrible at that tonight. My timing was off. I was not jumping rope well, not punching the bag well, not fighting the fights well, just all around bad. I had a chance at a Champion Pub a couple months ago for a pretty decent price, but since I am buying this other game, I am not buying a Champion Pub right now. Still definitely on my short list of games I want. I played Star Trek Limited Edition tonight at the Pinball Wizard Arcade, and I love that game. It's set up so great. They had it nice and steep. It's fast. It has hard shots to hit and also very satisfying, easy shots to hit. I think Steve Ritchie, it's probably my favorite Steve Ritchie game, and I know that's probably blasphemy to some people when they look back at all these great Steve Ritchie games and the history that this man has, piled up. But to me, Stern Star Trek is my favorite Steve Ritchie game. I love the feel of the ramps. I love the call-outs. I love the noises. The big, the empty open playfield lacking art turned out to be perfect for that game. I really, really like that game. That's not the game I'm buying, though. I'm not buying that. Nor am I buying sort of the other, to me, the two-headed monster for Stern right now, Metallica. Between Star Trek and Metallica, and you could actually go to, say, AC/DC too, they're just selling a lot of machines. Stern is rocking right now with pinball machines. And I probably will own a Metallica at some point just because I love rock and roll. I grew up listening and playing Metallica songs on guitar. It speaks to me. When that was first announced, I was just so excited, and then when I saw the game, I really dug it. I'm in no rush to get that game. I think that people are still buying those new. Prices will probably come down on some of the used pros eventually. So I will buy one of those eventually. That'll happen. But that is not the game I'm currently buying. I played Circus Voltaire tonight. I have just a new passion for that game. I don't know if it was meeting and talking to John Papaduke at the Midwest Gaming Classic. I don't know if it's my ongoing feud with the gentleman who calls him the Ringmaster. He calls himself the Ringmaster, comes on my show and bothers me. I don't know if that's what it is, but I really love Circus Voltaire. It's just so interesting, the geometry on the shots and some of the way that the loops come around. The Ringmaster toy is just freaking cool. To me, it's not an easy game. I hear some people say it's an easy game. I don't think that game's easy at all. I think that game's really difficult. I like that game a lot. I'm not buying that. It's so expensive. That's going to be a tough one for me to ever own. I would like to own a Circus Voltaire. I think it's unique. I think the DMD in the game and not up on the back glass or on the translate area on the head of the game is so cool. I don't know why there haven't been more games like that. It just makes a ton of sense. So I'm not buying Circus Voltaire. Played Medieval Madness tonight. Played a lot of Medieval Madness tonight. I actually had all of the king's castles defeated except for the King of Pain, which is usually where I get to on that game. I slayed the dragon. I beat some trolls. I missed the lock shot time and time again, hitting the post little target next to it over and over and over, as I do on Medieval Madness. I gave up with the hold the left flipper down, plunge the ball, super skill shot, as I kept screwing up and losing my ball because it defeats the ball save, I think. So I had a great time on Medieval Madness, and as I was playing it, I thought, man, this would be such an awesome game to have at your house, to invite people over to play. I think that Medieval Madness is one of those games. I think Attack from Mars is as well. Those games are just so universal in their appeal. They're funny. They're themes that we all have seen. We've all grown up with Knights of the Round Table and Merlin, and then in Attack from Mars, like alien movies. That's just American stories and fiction, and they make a great pinball machine. And bringing people over who don't play a lot of pinball, putting them on Judge Dredd, I could see people were like not into it. They didn't get it. Putting them on Bride of Pinbot, they usually like it because it's pretty and has cool things. But those two games, Attack from Mars and Medieval Madness, what awesome ways to get people into pinball. And they're remaking Medieval Madness. I don't know if you're aware of that. Did you guys know that? That Rick at Planetary Pinball Supply is remaking Medieval Madness. I think you know that. And I, at one point, had sent him money to buy that game. So I'm here to tell you, on Coast to Coast Pinball, episode number 84... I'm not buying Medieval Madness. That's not the game I'm buying. No, that's not it. I'm not buying Attack from Mars. Too expensive. Too much money. I think Medieval Madness is a more fulfilling game to me to play than Attack from Mars. Sorry, Teresa. So if I were to buy one of the two, it would be Medieval Madness. If I were to buy one of the two, it would be Monster Bash. Just kidding. But I'm not buying those. They don't have a Monster Bash at Pinball Wizard Arcade, and that's fine, because that's not the game I'm buying either. Way too expensive. What was the other games I put on the list? Oh, I'm not sending Jersey Jack money for The Hobbit. That's not happening. I did play The Wizard of Oz quite a bit tonight, because everyone emails me and says, hey, you got to play The Wizard of Oz updated code. And I played it tonight, and a couple things about the Wizard of Oz at the Pinball Wizard Arcade. They have it set up steeper than other Wizard of Oz examples that I've seen. So it plays faster. It plays way tougher, too. Kind of kicked my butt a little bit tonight. Also, they had Williams flippers on it, which I thought was interesting. And they were really strong. And they had the slingshots turned way up. So that game was kind of like rocking. And it's fun. It's a good game. It's cool. The new code is great. There's so much going on. Great home game. Not buying that. Not buying a Jersey Jack game right now. So, what does that leave? I think that leaves the game that more people picked than any other game when I put the poll up on coast2coastpinball.com. I am buying Spooky Pinball's America's Most Haunted. That's what I'm buying. I've sent a deposit in. I'm awaiting that email or phone call from Charlie or KT saying, your game is ready, send us the rest of the money. That money is just waiting to be sent to Wisconsin. That's what I'm buying. And I am so excited. I've played it now probably, I don't know, a total of 20 times. And I've seen it in person a total of 1 time. I've watched videos. I've made videos on it. I have talked to Ben Heck at length about it. I am really excited about this game. And you might be thinking, Nate, why are you spending that much money on a boutique-built game, one of only a few that are going to be made? Is there support from this company? This company could go out of business. What are you doing? There's no history, etc., etc., etc. The scoop shot has a left wall on it. It's going to tear the ball apart. I know. The audio is sketchy. It has glitches. I know. Don't worry about it. I think that at this point in my pinball collecting and buying kind of like, not career, but arc, I guess, I'm looking for something really unique. I travel a lot and I do this podcast and I see a lot of games. Name a game and I can probably go play it in the next month of my travels and being at home. Between, not being that far from the Pinball Hall of Fame, having the Pinball Wizard Arcade, having Modern Pinball NYC, having Silverball Museum in my work territory, having Sunshine Laundromat, having Jack Bar, having all these great places, Lanes and Games, I can play all the new Stern games really often. So I'm in no hurry to buy those games. I can play all the A-list games. There's no top 20 games that I can't go play. I don't think. I mean, I looked the other day. I was doing an interview for somebody. They sent me some questions. We'll talk about that next show, I think. But I was trying to look at games I hadn't played. Because one of the questions was, what games haven't you really played or on your playlist? And I was looking. I had to go all the way down on the Pinside Top 100 list down to number... I'm looking again for a game that I've never played. 39, Congo. I've never played Congo. I'm sorry, Big Bang Bar right above it. I've never actually played a Big Bang Bar. Number 37, so 37, 39. But of the top 20 games, I've played them all, and I can play them all. They're all around. Medieval Madness is all over my territory. I own a Twilight Zone. Attack from Mars is there's local San Diego, Sunshine Laundromat, Monster Bash, Sunshine Laundromat, Modern Pinball NYC. They're out there. I would love to own a Theater of Magic. I would love a Tales of the Arabian Nights. I'd love a Scared Stiff. Here's the deal. I really liked America's Most Haunted. I'm into the theme. I think the theme is awesome. Everyone says they want original themes. Well, hey, this company is giving you 2 original themes. And America's Most Haunted from Ben Heck, made by Spooky Pinball, I think is a killer original theme. It has that vibe of, a fun subject, ghosts and hunting ghosts, with a bunch of humor in it. It's tons of humor. Are there things about that game that I think aren't perfect 10s? Of course there are. I don't particularly love the playfield art. I think it's good. I think it's totally acceptable, and I think it's good. I don't love it. I don't think it matches the back glass completely. The back glass has been changed from this photorealistic glass to this drawing of these characters. But you know what? I don't think it has to match. That's fine. It's good. It looks good. The gameplay is fun. I need a game like this in my collection. I need a fan layout type game with I love the dropping target a la Tron, a la Avatar. I love that 3-bank target drop, a la Attack from Mars. That sort of quenches some needs for me in a pinball machine right now. I love the deep rule set. I mean, that's probably what's pushing me to buy this game most of all is, A, I like the theme, B, I like the vibe of the game. And when I say vibe, I mean when I'm standing there playing it and looking at it and hearing the call-outs and hearing the little sounds and the orb sound and the skill shot and the whole thing, I like the vibe. I like the ghost. I like the ghost moving around and lighting up different colors. I think it's awesome. Ben Heck's kind of a freaking genius. I mean, dude doesn't get the credit, but I mean, this game's all like his mad scientist mind jumping out into a pinball machine. And he told me in person he may never do another machine. I think he found out pinball machines are hard to make. And they're even harder to make profitable. So I'm in this rare position right now where I just happen to be shopping for a game. I have money to spend. I know these people somewhat personally. I don't have a long history with them, but I've talked to them for the podcast, and I met Charlie and his family at the Midwest Gaming Classic, and they're just everything you think they are. Listening to their show, they're dedicated to this hobby that I love so much. They're pouring their lives into it right now, and on top of that, I don't feel like I'm settling on this game. There are other boutique games out there that are either built or in production that I feel like I would be settling on just to buy it based on just a theme or just a group, helping a group that I like. None of that applies to America's Most Haunted. I really like the game, and you know what? I don't know if they'll ever even build 100 of these things. I'm shocked they haven't sold 100. I'm actually kind of disappointed in the pinball community that they haven't sold 100. Maybe Spooky Pinball needs to market harder and have a little more of a sales presence, but that's not their nature. They don't even like talking about themselves. I think that building 100 games is a stretch on this one because they have another game right behind it. I think that Pinball Zombies from Beyond the Grave is super unique and has a little ways to go before it's sort of done. I could see myself owning both those games. I like the spooky horror themes. You listen to the show. I like Tales from the Crypt. I like Nightmare on Elm Street. I like Twilight Zone. I like stuff like that. So I have this chance in 2014 to buy this one of some limited number. And trust me, I'm not buying it because it's limited because I might think will be worth more money. That has nothing to do with it. The fact is that I know there's this game now. Okay, it's kind of like Big Bang Bar in a way. I know there's this game. Big Bang Bar, I think, is cool. It looks cool. I've touched one. It wasn't turned on. Thanks, fun. But I can't play it. I can't go play it. There are a couple out there in the world to go play it, but they're not convenient for me. And I think America's Most Haunted is going to kind of be that same sort of game. I think it's going to be one of those things that I'm going to know it's out there. There's this cool game built by this small company, designed by this mad scientist genius dude who I really look up to and respect and just think's a neat guy. And I want to own that. And I can own that, so I'm going to own that. And you know what? There's going to be more scared stiffs out in the world. There's thousands of them out there. I will run into another one again. If I really want a Circus Voltaire, I can go get a Circus Voltaire. But there may not be a way to go get an America's Most Haunted because I have a feeling Spooky Pinball's only going to sell, I don't know. And this is me guessing. They didn't tell me any of this. They're committed, they said, to build up to 100 before they wanted to transition into building Pinball Zombies. But it sounds like to me, I'm thinking 60 to 80 games realistically, and that's just me guessing based on what I saw and what I've heard. So I can't count on these games being out there. So I want it. I really fell in love with the game. From the moment I stood in front of it and watched somebody play it, I was into it. The rules are awesome. I think there will be expansions. I think there will be tweaks. Ben has already shown his ability to work on the fly. He said, "Hey, I need to add a video mode," and within a day or so of him chatting on Pinside, he had developed this ghost video mode based on the Flappy Bird game, and it was called Flippy Ghost, and just had it all done and ready to go. I mean, absolutely amazing. It's open source. There's going to be people who do buy this game that are going to do their own audio, tweak the audio. So if there are any issues with audio, which I didn't feel like there were issues with audio, I think there's issues with people not understanding what Ben's going for. I think that a lot of people have these expectations now of everything's supposed to sound like AC/DC, or everything's supposed to sound like, like Spider-Man, Stern games, modern games, or it's supposed to sound like an old Williams, Medieval Madness. That's not what he's going for here. And if you stand in front of the game and play the game and listen to what the callouts are and kind of get the story he's trying to tell on this pinball machine, you'll realize it. It's cool. It's campy. It's neat. It's fun. I love the backglass art. I actually love where it got to. I didn't like the photo backglass really at all, and I love where they got to. I like the new side cabinets with the blue ghosts. I think that's cool. It's simple. I never see the sides of my games, really. So that means very, very little to me. But the playfield sold me. It had a great flow, had hard shots. It had fulfilling shots. I'm into it. It has cool toys, and man, I'm excited. I can't wait. I haven't been this excited about a purchase of some object since before I got Twilight Zone. That's how I feel about this. So I'm really, really, really excited that I'm buying America's Most Haunted. If I get this game in time, I might even take it up to California Extreme, because I don't know that they're going to be able to get one out there this summer. So that is my kind of plan. If I get this game by that point, I'm taking that weekend. Teresa and I are going to drive up to California Extreme with America's Most Haunted. So I have had other emails since my shows with Midwest Gaming Classic and since my Coast-to-Coast Pinball video of America's Most Haunted. I've had 2 or 3 people email me directly and say, "I am buying this game because you said it's cool." So I feel like there's a little bit of weight on my shoulders on that. I hope you folks that are using me as a judge to put your hard-earned money down on a game that you've never played. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you're excited. I think there'll be a resale market for it because, like I said, there's going to be so few of them. If you're a pinball collector and you have a lot of games and you fancy yourself wanting something new and different, you should probably look at this. You should probably get this game. This is going to be a little piece of history. I think Spooky Pinball is going to be building games for a long time. I think that their business model, and I don't know their business model, I'm totally just running numbers in my head. They don't need to sell thousands of games a year to run this company. They need to sell a modest amount of games to make money. And I think right now they have a lot of work on their hands, and I think they're going to do that because, you know, Pinball Zombies got sort of thrashed on Pinside for things like the artwork and not enough stuff like going on the big wide open playfield. I think that those were like the two things. Charlie was very excited to bring that game out, and what I saw to me was something that was like 75%. Yeah, there was some artwork that needed to be tweaked or fixed or just added. Just their upper playfield, the graveyard upper playfield, just needed more art to it. He got that message. You can hear and go listen to the last Spooky Pinball episode. He got it. But let me tell you, that game's really cool. There's nothing like that game out there right now. And that in and of itself is going to sell him games. When you get a final version of Pinball Zombies, and that may be later this year or whatever, he's going to sell games to people who have everything. Mark my word. Pinball Zombies will sell very well too. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm spending my money with Spooky Pinball right now, and I'm excited to do that.
Forum static.
There are two big threads on Pinside that I have a tough time clicking on. And they're important ones. They're ones that we've talked about on this show before, and I need to keep up with. And they are the Medieval Madness remake thread and the Jersey Jack Hobbit update thread. They're long. There's a lot of nonsense in those threads. If you'd like to read about 15 people arguing back and forth over and over and over about what color trim and legs should go on Medieval Madness, please, by all means, go into the Medieval Madness thread. Do it. It's fun. It's great. Over and over and over. I can't read about the trim color anymore. Who cares? I mean, yes, you who are spending $8,000 or $9,000, you care. I get it. I don't care. So, more importantly right now, though, in the Hobbit update thread, there is some pretty big news. And it looks to like the head designer for Jersey Jack Pinball, or at least on the Hobbit game, Joe, I think his last name is Belser. I don't know if that's how to pronounce it exactly. But he's the man who designed the game, head designer. He's left the company, and Jersey Jack today actually confirmed that. And it's interesting, and I think Jack's post says something to the effect of Joe's game is done, or at least design is completed, and so I have it right here. Joe's game is done, as is his employment with Jersey Jack Pinball. He is working for one of our metal vendors now. Pat Lawler is working on game number 3, and another designer is working on game number 4. We love Joe and wish him the very best. So, forget all the speculation of what happened. I mean, it could be very much as simple as how many designers on a team does Jersey Jack Pinball really need? I mean, we're talking, this is a company that's likely going to be struggling to release one game a year. Right? One game a year would be pretty good for them right now. It'd be great, in fact. And they have Pat Lawler, who's going to sell games just because he's Pat freaking Lawler, working on game number 3. And there's this sort of, mystery on game number 4. Who's designing game 4? We've seen Dennis Nordman's name thrown around. I've seen people speculate John Papaduke. I sort of doubt it's either one of them. We'll see. I don't know who it is. I don't know. Could be somebody who we don't immediately think of. But I know that there are some people kind of freaked out by Joe not being with the company anymore. I think, though, that game is plenty far along now, that the designer is sort of out of the loop at this point. If you read, history on, the Williams teams and the Gottlieb and Bally teams, there's a handoff period where you've designed the game, you've got it flipping, you've got the whitewood going, you have a basic idea, you hand it off to art and programming, and you're kind of done. And if you're working at Williams back in the 90s, you move on to the next game. If you're working at Stern today, you move on to the next game. The problem at Jersey Jack Pinball is they've got Pat Lawler working on the next game, and apparently somebody else working on the game after that. So that they might be 3 years away from needing a next game. So there may just not be a need for a designer to be there. So, interesting though. Jack has posted a recent photo of him in front of a cabinet with a mock art type thing, playfield art, in the Hobbit game. So that game's definitely coming along. I have high hopes for that game. I think that game's going to be pretty spectacular. As I've said before, I'm very excited for that. Also very excited to see what Pat Lawler does on the Jersey Jack platform. I think that's very, very exciting. So in any case, I think that's sort of some big news on the Hobbit, and Jersey Jack Pinball is they'll have the designer of the game will not be there to see it kind of completed. And speaking of games and designs and new games, I have it, and I hate doing the rumor thing. I hate doing the I heard this, because 9 times out of 10, you're me, I'm wrong, or things change, and I was right when I say it, and I'm wrong when the truth comes out. But I'm going to float this one out there just for the fun of it. I believe, based on a couple of different sources, that Stern is rerunning a game right now. I believe that's happening. And I was told what game it is, and I don't believe what I was told, but I do believe they are rerunning a game from the past. And here's something you'll notice about Pinside. So we've got this community, this little tight-knit community, and we fight sometimes in our community, and there's some bad seeds, and we, ostracize where we need to. There are people in the know on Pinside, and oftentimes these people cannot contain themselves when they know something, and they will post. And they won't just come out and say, hey, XYZ Pinball's building Def Leppard Pinball next year, because that would, screw it up, because XYZ Pinball would know that Joe Schmo is the one who leaked the information. But Joe Schmo will, have a secret identity and say, hey, is it possible that a company that nobody's thinking about right now is going to build a pinball machine with a certain British heavy metal pop rock band? That's how it goes. And as I was told Stern was going to rerun a game, I had 2 different listeners to the show ask me separately, is Stern rerunning a game right now, or about to? I thought, well, that's weird. And then this thread popped up on Pinside. Could Stern sell another 500 Iron Man pins? And I thought, interesting timing that got posted yesterday. I don't know, I'm losing track of time here. No, this morning. Because that's obviously, if you were going to choose a game for Stern to rerun, that would certainly be a candidate, right? It's a game with a low production number that sort of found its legs after it was done being built. And then also, later today, also in the Stern subforum on Pinside, new Stern machine. And it's a photo of, I guess, a picture that Stern put on their Facebook page of a black old-style cabinet, pinball cabinet. And tons of speculation all over the place. You can see there's Mustang games in the background. It's the Stern factory, and there's a black painted cabinet with no translite. And in that thread, there's some people saying maybe it's a rerun of an old game. So all of this talk and all of this noise goes back to the old cliche of where there's smoke, there's fire. So I'm pretty confident that it's happening now. Stearns has chosen to rerun a game, whether it's 500 or 300 or 700 or 1,000 of a game that they think they can sell of. I think they're doing that because here's the reality of it. Remember, take the emotion out of it. Take the pinball fanboy that I have and that you have. Take that out of it. Stern Pinball is a manufacturing company. It's the first thing Gary Stern will tell you about the company. They're there to build things. And you hire, in manufacturing companies, workers on to run lines. And they've had a big streak here where they've sold a lot of games. From AC/DC on, they've sold a lot of pinball machines. So the factory's been humming, been up and running, lots of people working, lots of games going in and out the door. And Mustang, I don't believe, is selling anywhere near the rate that Metallica sold, or anywhere near the rate that Star Trek sold, or anywhere near the rate that AC/DC sold. I don't believe that Mustang is selling as well as Avengers sold out to like retailers and distributors. That's what I believe, and I've heard that from a couple people. Although, and that's not, I'm not talking about the quality of Mustang, because I actually think Mustang's sort of a sleeper game. The more I've played it, the more I really appreciate it and kind of like it. Don't love the theme, said it before. So I think Stern's in a position where they have a game coming out this summer. John Borg designed game. I think, from what I've heard, it's going to be pretty cool. But they need to build stuff like right now. They need stuff being built. And they have games that they can go back and rebuild. And people jump quickly and say, oh, but the license expired. You can redo a license. It's not that hard. Pay some more money, get the license again. Especially if the relationship's already there. It's even easier than going and getting a new license. Much easier. Oh, you can't get those parts anymore. They can get more parts made. You can get parts. If you want them, you can get them. So I wanted to do this. I wanted to look back on the archive. And Stern's sort of redone some of their webpage lately. And their webpage is really good right now. So it's sternpinball.com/games/archive. These are the games that are currently out of production. Because if you look at the games that Stern's currently building, they're building AC/DC Lucy Edition, Metallica Pro and Premiums, Star Trek Pros and Premiums, and Mustang Pros and Premiums, and probably still some LEs. Let's look back at their archives and see if we can look at what titles could possibly be up for a rerun. We can. There's a few that I think we can just quickly kind of say these are not being rerun. They're certainly not going to rerun Shrek or Family Guy. I just don't believe it. I don't think the demand is there. I don't think they want to rerun a Pat Lawler theme, not theme, but design. I just don't think that's happening. They're not rerunning World Poker Tour. Poker sort of had its moment, sort of done. That's not happening. I can't possibly see CSI 24. Those aren't being rerun. Austin Powers, no way. Elvis, no. Sopranos, no. Terminator 3, obviously not. No Playboy, no Monopoly, no High Roller Casino, no Roller Coaster Tycoon, Striker Extreme, no. Rolling Stones, absolutely not. I don't see Indiana Jones. I think they could sell some Indiana Jones, but I don't see them rerunning that. Let's go through the rest of them. Okay, Avengers. That's not happening. There's still Avengers in boxes for sale all around this country right now. Not happening. Avatar. There's a second Avatar movie coming out, but I don't see the demand. I think there's still Avatars available out there if you look hard enough. Transformers, interesting. Transformers 4 coming out this summer, going to be a new movie, sort of a reboot, some new actors. There's Dinobots in the new Transformers movie. Again, that game didn't sell all that well, so I don't think it'd be Transformers. Batman? No, that's not happening. That's sort of had its moment. Batman versus Superman is being filmed right now. The first pictures of Ben Affleck as Batman just popped up on the internet. So it wouldn't be that one. X-Men. Could it be X-Men? With this new code, there's sort of a renewed interest in X-Men. X-Men Days of Future Past is being released right now. It's coming out in like 2 weeks, I think. I think X-Men could be up for a possible rerun, maybe. Although that's pretty recent. It's like weren't they just making those? Which maybe that makes it easier. I don't know. Not Big Buck Hunter. I think we already said that. Not Spider-Man. There's a whole new Spider-Man franchise right now, so that doesn't make any sense. Lord of the Rings. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Lord of the Rings is a game that still demands a price that is somewhere in between what you can buy a brand new pro game for or a premium. I think if you reran Lord of the Rings and maybe added a couple features, did a new Lord of the Rings limited run, you could probably sell them. It'd be an interesting move to do right now with Jersey Jack Pinball doing The Hobbit. I think they might get some pushback from the licensee on that one because I believe it's the same licensee. So that would be a stretch, although I think a viable stretch. NASCAR? I guess you could. NASCAR's sort of an evergreen theme, but I don't think so. I don't think that's it. Ripley's Believe It or Not, wouldn't that be funny to run that again? I think they could sell some Ripley's Believe It or Nots. I think they'd need some design change, and I think that one is too far gone. So no, I don't believe it would be that one. Tron. To me, Tron might be the most likely because, Tron LEs are worth a fortune right now, and Stern could run 500 premiums, do a premium version of Tron that sits in that premium price point, so you're not totally killing the LE guys. Although I don't have a lot of sympathy or love for the killing the guy that bought the expensive machine, because I'm not into that side of it. I've gotten hate mail for that. Yes, I know. I still say though that it's good for the hobby. So to me, Tron sticks out as definitely one. They reran that a bunch of times. They claimed they were done rerunning it, but, if you can sell them, why not? And then that leaves us with Iron Man. Iron Man is just such an obvious one to me because it never got its due. It's a fun game. It's a fairly simple layout, and you could redo it. I think pretty easily. I don't know where Iron Man stands as far as movies. I think, obviously there's a new Avengers movie coming out at some point. Is there going to be an Iron Man 4? I don't know. I don't think so. But there's Avengers movie still coming. Maybe there's an Iron Man 4. I don't know. Luckily, we have this thing called Google, and I can just... yeah, could happen soon. Robert Downey Jr. said, okay, well, there you go. Iron Man 4 rumors all over the internet. So, what do you think? Stern going to rerun a game? I think they are. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's good for them as a company to keep building games. I think if there's a game with high demand that people are paying a lot of money for, why not be selling them new in box? If people are going to pay $10,000, $9,000 for a Tron LE, sell a Tron Premium for $7,500. Just a thought. We'll see how that plays out. I think we'll know more on that very, very soon. So this weekend is the 2014 Pin-A-Go-Go pinball show, festival, whatever you want to call it. In Dixon, California, which kind of burns me that it's in my home state and I can't go. I'm going to be on the East Coast the whole weekend, so that's unfortunate. Dixon, sort of in between Sacramento and San Francisco, if you don't know the area. They're guaranteeing 100-plus pinball machines on free play, parts, memorabilia, games for sale, tons of different parts companies, the vendors will be there. Steve Ritchie will be doing a meet and greet and signing some stuff on Saturday. Greg Freris will be there also on Sunday. And then Dirty Donnie will also be there signing as well on Saturday. They're doing a silent auction, pinball school, get your game on, as they say. Looks like a fantastic time. Really bummed I can't go. I had hoped that one was going to work out, and it just didn't. So that's too bad. One thing I want to mention about Pinagogo is that a thread popped up, also on the Pinside forums, that was titled Planetary Pinside Announcement. It was titled Go-Go Epic Announcement by Planetary Pinball Supply, and Pinball Nut posted that he spoke with Rick of Planetary Pinball / Bay Area Amusements, and he said there may very well be an epic announcement made by he and Matt Planetary at Pinagogo this weekend. That was sort of tampered down a little bit by Rick in that thread where he said he wouldn't call it exactly. He said he wanted to call it a sub-epic announcement. So we shall see what's going on with that. If it's, when you heard epic announcement, you thought, oh gosh, they're going to announce their next game that they're going to build, or remake, I should say. And there's lots of jokes going around of everyone making an announcement of their announcement coming up. I don't know what this is going to be. Could be, I don't know, could be something specific to Medieval Madness Remake still. Could be, I don't think it'll be the next game. I don't think. It might be something to do with the kind of reworked, versions of old games. I forget what they're actually calling that. We'll see. I have an idea. Well, I can't throw any more rumors out. I'll be wrong twice in one show, and I can't have that. I only did one show this week, and I got a bunch of emails and Facebook messages like, hey, what's up? Where are the shows? Where are the shows? And, I sort of feel like when I do an interview like we did last episode with Clay Harrell, which, by the way, thank you guys for the feedback. Thank you guys for all the downloads and listens. That was an absolutely fantastic response to that show. Clay was awesome. It was good of him to come on. But after I do a show like that, I kind of want to let it stand there for a while and get the spotlight. When I do two shows right after it, I feel like I'm sort of disrespecting the person that took their time to come on and waste a bunch of time talking to me about pinball. I want people to see it, hear it, download it, and it works. When I let a show sit, it gets more downloads. That's just how it is. So that's kind of why I took a few days to let that one sit. I had been trying to get Clay on the show for months and months and months, and I don't think he knew who the hell I was at first, so he wasn't too into it, but I think he was glad he did come on. People were glad to hear from him. It was a lot of fun. Looking forward to talking with him again. And actually, I'm looking forward to getting out there and seeing VFW Pinball. That is something I want to do. Also, I think I mentioned before, I just wanted to confirm up again, the Southern Fried Game Room Expo is in June, coming up next month. It happens quick. It seems like it was months and months away, and now we're under 40 days. I think we're 37 days away right now to the Southern Fried Game Room Expo, which will be Friday, June 20th, Saturday, June 21st, and Sunday, June 22nd. I will be there. Saturday night, we're going to be doing a podcast symposium of sorts, which will be fun. Myself, obviously Patrick and Preston from the Game Room Junkies. I know Shannon and his co-host on Broken Token, and then one other podcast, and I'm stretching to remember right now just because it's video game centric, and I just don't recall. But I'll bring them up as soon as I remember on a future episode. We're doing like a Saturday night podcast party night, crazy madness or something. So that's kind of cool. That's going to be fun. Looking forward to that. That's Friday the 20th through the 22nd. I'm going to be there for most of that show, actually. I think that most of that entire show. Maybe not Sunday. I think I'm going to leave Sunday. But before that, and I have to actually look at my calendar for this because this summer is busy. I am going to the Tacoma, Seattle area for the Northwest Pinball Show, which is Friday the 6th and Saturday the 7th and Sunday the 8th up in Seattle, Washington. I'm unfortunately not going to get there till Saturday. My schedule was just really tight, and it was touch and go that I could even get out there at all. But I am coming to the Northwest Pinball and Arcade Show. Don't really know what capacity. I think mostly just to experience it, see it, play some games, talk to some folks. I think Mark Ritchie is going to be there, which is kind of exciting. I would love to talk to Mark. We don't hear a lot about Mark Ritchie anymore, so it'd be nice to talk to Mark, see what's going on, and I've offered to help them any way I can. So if there's another role for me, I'm definitely open to that. But that'll be up in the Northwest. Very excited about that. That's supposedly one of the most well attended and most well run shows in the country. So that's kind of what I got going on. I had a bunch of notes for an episode that we were going to do this trip, and I left them in San Diego. So I'll either redo those notes and redo that episode, or we'll do something else before then. I'm traveling all through Boston and New York for the next couple weeks, so we'll see what other pinball I get to play. Played some games tonight at the Pinball Wizard Arcade that we will touch upon on the next episode. But for now, this has been episode